For as long as most of us can remember, the standard advice has been to give plants plenty of room. Seed packets tell you to thin seedlings to a set distance. Gardening books warn against crowding, and old-timers remind you that plants need space to grow. But what if that common wisdom is holding your harvest back? What if tightly planted, even crowded gardens actually grow stronger, healthier, and more productive crops? The truth is that nature rarely leaves soil bare. Plants grow shoulder to shoulder, protecting one another and sharing resources. Once you understand how plant crowding really works, you'll see why leaving wide gaps in your beds may be the reason your soil dries out, weeds take over, and harvests fall short. Plants protect each other when they grow close together. Spacing creates exposed soil, and bare soil is an open invitation to weeds and moisture loss. When crops are packed more closely, their leaves quickly close the canopy, shading the ground. This canopy locks in soil moisture, keeps roots cool, and blocks weed seeds from ever sprouting. Instead of spending hours weeding or watering, the plants do the work for you. In hot, dry climates, this method alone can mean the difference between struggling plants and a thriving harvest. A dense planting of lettuce, for example, creates a living mulch that conserves water far more effectively than bare soil between rows. When plants grow close together, their roots overlap and interconnect, creating a rich underground network. This web of roots feeds soil microbes and earthworms, which in turn make nutrients more available. The constant exchange of sugars, minerals, and root exudates in a crowded planting accelerates soil fertility instead of depleting it. Over time, beds managed this way become darker, looser, and full of life. One effective way to apply this principle is with carrots and onions. Sowing them in tight bands instead of rows means roots are always feeding microbes across the entire bed. By harvest time, the soil underneath is richer than when you started, and weeds have had little chance to compete. It may sound counterintuitive, but crowded gardens are often healthier gardens. Many pests rely on spotting isolated plants. A lone cabbage standing in bare soil is like a target for cabbage moths. A block of cabbages planted shoulder to shoulder, however, creates a wall of scent and leaf that confuses pests. Likewise, when plants grow close together, beneficial predators like ladybugs and spiders find more consistent shelter and food, keeping pest populations in check. Diseases, too, can actually be reduced with proper crowding. While air circulation is important, the bigger threat comes from stressed plants grown in isolation. Plants in a dense canopy create their own microclimate where soil splash is reduced and root zones remain stable. A thick patch of basil, for instance, holds moisture evenly and suffers less mildew than a handful of plants standing far apart in bare, drying soil. The key to success is not random crowding but intentional planting. Instead of following wide spacing charts, think in terms of plant families, root depths, and nutrient needs. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and lettuce thrive in close quarters because they are shallow-rooted and harvest quickly. In 1 square foot, you can sow 9 to 12 lettuce plants and harvest them leaf by leaf before they crowd out completely. Root crops like beets and carrots can also be sown thickly. A spacing of 1 inch apart allows you to pull baby roots for early meals, thinning the patch gradually while leaving the rest to size up. For fruiting crops like tomatoes, closer planting works best when combined with pruning. Setting tomatoes 2 feet apart instead of 3 allows them to shade the soil and support each other, but keeping side shoots in check ensures airflow is maintained. Interplanting is another step that makes crowding work even better. Planting radishes between cabbages or basil beneath tomatoes uses vertical space and timing to maximize harvests. The radishes are out of the ground before cabbages spread, and the basil benefits from tomato shade at the hottest point of summer. This layered approach mirrors natural ecosystems where nothing grows in isolation. Many home gardeners work with limited space, and crowding is the most effective way to get high yields from small beds. A 4x4 foot plot planted intensively can supply greens, herbs, and root vegetables for weeks. By eliminating the wasted strips of soil left by traditional row spacing, every square inch works for you. This efficiency is the same principle used in bio-intensive and French-intensive gardening, methods proven for centuries to produce abundant harvests from compact plots. The shift from spacing to crowding is about working with nature. Nature doesn't space plants evenly in tidy rows. Meadows, forests, and wild patches are full, layered, and busy with growth. By mimicking this pattern in your own garden, you not only get higher yields but also build resilience. Crowded beds hold moisture, suppress weeds, attract beneficial insects, and regenerate soil fertility. It's not about neglecting your plants but about planting them in a way that mirrors how they thrive naturally. Once you see how quickly your garden transforms under denser planting, it's hard to go back to wide gaps and wasted soil. The harvests are heavier, the work is lighter, and the soil is healthier season after season. So if you're still pulling out seedlings to create bare patches or following outdated spacing charts, it's time to rethink the way you plant. Try crowding your greens, ban sowing your roots, and pairing your crops to make every inch count. You'll not only bring in bigger harvests but also create a living system that works with less effort. For more practical, soil-first strategies that turn common gardening advice on its head, make sure to subscribe to Soil Doctor and share this guide with a fellow gardener. Together we can grow healthier gardens by working smarter, not harder.